7 different bills, 5 in the House and 2 in the Senate, have been filed at the legislature to repeal Common Core academic standards in Oklahoma. Common Core state standards were developed by states, not the federal government, but that has not prevented dispute over the purpose and the methods employed.
Oklahoma and 44 other states have adopted Common Core standards, which serve as benchmarks of achieved learning in each grade. The standards are designed to be more challenging and improve students' critical thinking. The goal of the Common Core state standards is to give students across the nation a level playing field so they're prepared to attend college or a technical school when they graduate high school. The standards have been adopted into Oklahoma's academic standards, which can be viewed on the Oklahoma State Department of Education website. The standards will be fully implemented in the 2014-2015 school year. But now, some are trying to put the brakes on that. Recently, about 200 people gathered at Oklahoma Wesleyan University in Bartlesville to hear speakers critical of Common Core and who don't want those standards taught to Oklahoma school children. One of them, Jenny White, heads an organization called Restore Oklahoma Public Education, or ROPE.
And it's actually America's education takeover by, unfortunately, the Obama administration.
Many educators and lawmakers disagree, including Dr. Keith Ballard, superintendent of Tulsa Public Schools.
I don't see this as federal intervention or a federal takeover. It was written by the National Governors Associations, governors elected, from each state.
State Senator John Ford is chairman of the Senate Education Committee.
The 45,000 plus Oklahoma Parent Teacher Association, they endorsed the standards. Military strongly endorses the standards. Businesses endorse the standards. So there are a lot of groups that have a very vested interest in our state and our children being successful.
Ballard says Common Core has been widely accepted in his district, which is the second largest in the state.
Really has caused no controversy whatsoever in Tulsa Public Schools. And I have to say that it seems to me that much of the controversy is contrived.
But State Senator Eddie Fields says he has listened to Common Core opponents, and as a parent, he does have a problem with Common Core. He has filed Senate Bill 1146, which repeals it. Fields says he decided to file the bill after his fourth grade daughter brought home a book geared to Common Core standards.
My fourth grade daughter brings home a mathematics book, fourth grade mathematics book, that is geared towards junior and senior level mathematics in high school. It takes me 20 minutes to answer a question, one math question. And so from that standpoint, my daughter has trouble with it. And then we're asking elementary teachers that weren't designed to teach high school mathematics to 9 and 10-year-olds.
Senator Fields has also filed Senate Bill 1310, which would create a curricular standards task force to study and make recommendations to the legislature regarding the new standards. Fields says when he voted for Common Core in 2010, he had no idea what the standards would be.
And I voted for it in 2010 because we were sold as a legislature, this is to get raised to the top federal dollars because of the budget crunch for education that year. Nothing else was said about curriculum, nothing said about, the data.
Jenny White says, among other reasons, she is against Common Core because she thinks teachers aren't prepared for it.
Because this was implemented so quickly, the teachers were not brought up to speed fast enough on how to be able to teach these standards. So you put teachers in a huge bind. Our state put teachers in a huge bind, and our state's been asking us for millions of dollars for these REACH coaches to go out and teach the teachers how to teach the standards, but they're just out there treading water.
But Tulsa School Board member Gary Percival says his district has been preparing to implement Common Core since the legislature adopted the standards in 2010.
We've got a very robust effort going on at TPS to write curriculum. We're working with other school districts in the area. We've set up a website to be able to share some of that information back and forth. I think ultimately parents are going to be able to see what their children are being asked to learn and what the standards are.
Some school districts are already using Common Core curriculum, according to Senator Ford.
Some of the comments I've heard from the teachers are, it was a little painful at first because it was something different and new and maybe a little more rigorous, but In many instances, they were shocked or surprised that some of the students were able to do things that in the past they didn't think the students would be able to.
Percival says Common Core is in line with what the Tulsa School District was already hoping to achieve.
I trust the professional educators in our district, the administrators of our district, who have told our board, hey, it's a good deal. These are the critical thinking skills we've talked about all along. We're focusing on math and reading, which are two areas that we already know that we need to really bear down with a lot of kids on, so they are up to their grade level.
And I think a more rigorous curriculum based on a rigorous set of standards statewide, and yes, even that set of standards nationally, that still allows for flexibility at the local level. I think it is a good thing, and I think it can be achieved under Common Core.
But Senator Fields believes Common Core may be setting the bar too high.
Because not all kids are cut from the same mold. Not all kids are going to go to Harvard or Yale and be your 4.0 student. Common Core does not make any exemptions for a kid on IEP. IEP kids are special needs kids. There's no exemptions.
Senator Ford will ultimately decide whether Fields' Common Core repeal even gets heard in his Education Committee. And that makes it likely Ford will be hearing a lot about Common Core in the coming days and weeks.